It's another Micro Action Monday on Studio Class. Hello, Divas. We are back. This is another Micro Action Monday. I'm Megan Ihnen, and yes, it has been a minute. So we have not done a Micro Action Monday for about 2 years. I think the last one was in 2024, and now it is 2026. So, which is all to say that it's okay to take a break from something for a while, and I'm feeling like it's time to come back to Studio Class. So I hope that if you are joining me for the very first time, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. And if you are coming back because you used to listen, I am so thrilled. Thank you for joining me again. So today's Micro Action Monday is about beginner's mind. I've really been thinking a lot about beginner's mind or employing beginner's mind recently because I've grown a lot as an artist over the last couple of years and gone through a lot of ups and downs, and I bet that you have too. The state of the world is not necessarily kind to artists, but yet we persevere, we find ways, we are creative people, and so we find all the ways to continue to do what we love to do. And that's really contributing to why I'm thinking about beginner's mind. And your micro action for today is to do something that you are a beginner at. Really just think through what's calling you, what would be exciting for all of my neurodivergent brains. Like, what is the dopamine that you are craving right now? What would get you interested in something? So I'm bringing this up because, I really got into a spot where I was hustling really hard, working hard at my goals and working towards my goals, and feeling a lot of pressure, feeling the time-bound pressures, feeling the skill pressures for a lot of work. And that's all fine and well, and those are seasons in our lives. And I started to realize that I wanted to grow as an artist, that I wanted to add some new things to my artistic practice. And if we know each other on the socials, I'm at mezzo-Ihnen, so, find me there. That if we know each other on the socials, then you may have seen that I added DJ decks to my artistic practice recently, and it's really been this exciting and fun way to explore my creativity and explore music from a different perspective than I was doing in my primarily contemporary classical experimental vocal performance, which is still absolutely the bedrock and the foundation of the things that I do artistically. And as my band, Neonautica, has grown more and more into our EDM work, we really thought, okay, it makes a lot of sense to have one of us be a DJ. And that's something that I was like, I want to try this. And it's so funny, maybe you can relate to this, that being a musician professionally for multiple decades, I turned to a new to me instrument like the DJ decks and thought I should be able to do this. I should just out of the box be able to do this. This is something that we laugh about in my household a lot is, that we are skilled musicians and performer composers, etc. And when we're trying to add something new or we want to explore a different area of creativity, we kind of assume that we should just be able to do it out of the box because we've been working in music for so long. And yet there's always a learning curve. And part of that is where the beginner's mind concept really comes into play. Because beginner's mind is really about being open and curious and not putting those expectations or pressures on the outcomes, but more about enjoying the process or being open to what the process could teach you, right? What you could learn through this that you don't already know. And that's been such a blessed practice for me recently. And even though there's the struggle of feeling like I should know how to do these things or this should be easier, all these shoulds, right? All of these shoulds showing up, that thinking about beginner's mind allows me to come back to that and say, okay, let's just set the shoulds down for a second and think about what could happen here. What's possible? What do I want to try? What do I want to get better at? How can I learn from this? What can I be curious about? And one of the areas that really helped me with this recently was I also got a sketchbook because I like to sketch and I like to draw and I like to, do different visual art medium to play around with. And I don't have a professional outlet for that. I don't have to show anybody. Nobody is asking me when my sketches are going to be done or giving me feedback or notes on those things. And even in a super busy season of my life, I realized that I needed to just find some time on the margins to allow myself to play with the sketchbook. And this is not a new concept. And frankly, I've had many, many teachers and mentors telling me this along the way. And so I am always standing on the shoulders of giants. But I wanted to pass this along to you because maybe you have also been hearing it from your teachers and mentors, from your peers, from your colleagues. And maybe you haven't heeded the call sometimes, like I have. And you just need just one more invitation to try it today. So Micro Action Monday today is about picking something in your creative life where you are a beginner, where you don't have external pressures or any sort of need for the outcome to be at a certain level or shareable or any of those kinds of things, because that's actually not the most beneficial part of getting started with something. Getting started is about learning tools and techniques and getting more comfortable with the physicality of an instrument or trying new ideas, allowing your brain to get in the sandbox and play with something or come up with an idea. I think especially in this proliferation of AI at the moment, staying close to the part of our brains that generates creative ideas for us to try is so important. I think that we need to keep in touch with that side of ourselves that not only comes up with maybe the implausible idea, but then asks ourselves to try and make it, to bring that into the world. And so as artists, I'm not going to go on a rant or anything about any of those tools, but I do really want to invite us back to that moment that says, what is the implausible that's calling to you? And what's the very first step that you can take towards it? How can you employ beginner's mind today in what you're doing? So, Divas, here we are, 2026. We're back in the saddle, Micro Action Monday, and it seems very fitting that kind of coming back after a hiatus, we'd be talking about beginner's mind. But I want you to look around yourself today and ask, what's something that I can get started on? What's something that I can try that doesn't have external pressures on it? And enjoy. I hope that you will find me on the socials and tell me. You don't have to exclaim it, proclaim it from the rooftops. You don't have to tell every single person. But if you do want to tell me, I'm here for it. I will happily respond to your DMs and cheer you on. So, Divas, let's be on this beginner's mind journey together. And if you've been listening for a minute, do you remember how it goes? Divas, stay sparkly inside and out, and I will catch you next time. Thanks for joining me for Micro Action Monday. Again, I'm Megan Ihnen, and you can find me on all the socials at mezzo-soprano. That's Ihnen.